This week marks Fire Safety Week, and this year the spotlight is on a growing fire hazard in our homes, lithium-ion batteries. From phones and laptops to e-bikers and scooters, the batteries power our lives, but when damaged or improperly charged, they can pose a serious risk. Today, we have Leanne with the Ottawa Fire Services joining us this morning to talk all about this. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Of course, and I think this is a really important topic because it's not something I think everyone thinks about when it comes to that. So first, let's talk about the description of what the battery is.
So a lithium-ion battery is a device, is a lot of power put in for a very small spot. So it's got a whole bunch of different cells within it, and those get charged and recharged and can be used over and over again. But as you said, if they're not used properly or treated with the respect that they really deserve, then they can lead to problems.
Okay, so let's talk about some of those problems. What are the hazards that people might not be aware of and they really should be?
So one of the big things that people aren't aware of is just how many we have in our home. The average residential home has about 100 batteries in use at a time. 75 of them are lithium ion.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
like look at all what you have here.
This is just a small array of what things can be found at home. It goes all the way from like your electric toothbrush, your battery-operated drills, or even battery-operated lawnmowers and things, plus kids' toys with batteries, cell phones, tablets, laptops, our smartwatches, earphones, and any of the electric cigarette products that are out there. So we need to know that when we're buying them, we have to look for a certified product. So we're looking to make sure that they're tested by a certified listed company to ensure that they meet the stringent standards that we have within Canada. Then once we have them, we want to make sure that we're charging them responsibly and safely, which means that we're charging them to the capacity they're allowed, so we're not overcharging them. So like I like to joke, if it's at 100%, it's not going to get any higher, so unplug it.
Yeah.
Don't leave it plugged in. Also, one of the big things we tend to see is, especially unfortunately with teenagers and kids, and even adults are guilty of it, they like to take their phone to bed with them. Well, your bed is not a charging station. And if it gets in there, it overheats and overcharges, and that can actually cause a fire. And if you imagine, you're in bed with it. So you've got a bit of a danger there. Also, you want to make sure that you're using the appropriate chargers with them. So I preferably stick with the one from the manufacturer, but sometimes we all know we need to get new ones because they break and this. Get one that's recommended by that manufacturer. Don't just go out and buy the cheapest one that you can find, because it may not be compatible with your device, which could lead to overcharging and overheating. Yeah,
and we don't want that. You know, you mentioned it with the phone by the bed, and in our video that we showed up there, like the e-scooter catching fire at a store, and then in seconds, the entire store was lit on fire.
Yes.
So where would you recommend, especially these household items that so many people have at home, where would you recommend charging them, and at what time to be as safe as possible?
So the best thing is try not to charge them overnight. I do know that some newer devices we're lucky enough that they're coming with the trickle charge ability so that they're taking the longer time, but you always want to make sure that they're being charged on a hard surface. So never on something soft, never like on the couch, on the bed, anything like that. Never in direct sunlight either, so keep them out of heat or extreme cold temperatures, because that in itself can cause issues with them. And we want to make sure that we're just charging them according to the manufacturer's instructions, especially when it comes to e-bikes and e-scooters. Those ones really, I know a lot of the times we say, I don't need instructions. Yeah, please read the instructions, because some of them give specific lengths of time that you're allowed to charge these devices for. Also, never charge big items such as that in front of an exit, because if they do catch fire, which can happen, it goes quick, and now you've lost your ability to get out.
Yeah, and we don't want that. You make such a good point of, it's not going to get anywhere beyond 100%. And even I've noticed sometimes if you leave it in during the day or overnight, like your phone could be really warm.
Yep.
Is that like an early sign of something could potentially happen?
That is an early sign. So early signs to look for are any type of excessive heat on the device, any type of odd smell, popping noises, or if you notice any type of swelling with the battery, those are immediate indications to stop using it. You also want to avoid damaging them. So especially with the e-scooters, try not to like bump into the curbs, not dropping it over and things like that. Same with tablets and cell phones and stuff like that. Cell phones, I know we drop them, but make sure you've got a good protective case on it so that the dropping is not going to affect the battery as much.
Okay, yeah, definitely avoid, especially on the e-scooters, bumping for multiple reasons. Number one, safety, as well as the lithium-ion battery. Leanne, if people are looking for additional information, where should they head to for Fire Safety Week?
They can look at, all week, we're going to be posting on our Twitter account, which is Fire Prevent, and you can find all different tips. But you can also go to a website that's done by the Ontario Fire Marshal, and it's called chargedforlife.ca, and there's lots of information there. And we will also be out all week at different locations, some of them that are actually retail partners with a company called Call to Recycle, which is a recycling company for batteries. So we'll be out at those places, so you can look for us all week. Another place, though, to look to if you want to is our city website, which will also, if you go to the City E-Waste Explorer, will tell you more appropriate ways to dispose of them if you have batteries you need to get rid of.
Wonderful, and we have it on our website too, ctvottawa.ca, for everything we'll have here today. Leanne from Ottawa Services Fire, we really appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you very much.